France is a mosaic of landscapes, flavors, and stories that seem hand-painted. Would you prefer to start with the vibrant blue of the French Riviera, or with a coffee on a Parisian terrace? From the chateau of the Loire Valley to the vineyards of Bordeaux, every corner holds its own charm. Villages like Riquewihr, Colmar, or Eguisheim seem to have stepped out of a fairy tale, while Mont Saint-Michel floats like a jewel in the sea. In Chamonix, the Alps remind us that nature itself is a spectacle, and in Versailles, Baroque luxury speaks of kings and ambitions. This journey invites you to observe calmly, enjoy with all five senses, and simply let yourself be carried away, as if in a 4 Kelvins documentary made just for you. French Riviera. The French Riviera is the red carpet of the Mediterranean. Its blue waters seem painted with strokes of light. Did you know that the sun shines here for more than 300 days a year? That's one of the reasons why artists like Picasso and Matisse chose this place for inspiration. Walking along Nice's Promenade des Anglais is almost like strolling down a natural catwalk. Cannes, of course, breathes cinema all year round, not just during the famous film festival. But don't be fooled, there are also fishing villages where life remains tranquil and the sound of cicadas fills the air. Historical documents tell us that this region was a strategic point for Roman trade, and to this day it remains a gateway to the world. Would you like to savor a bouillabaisse with a view of the sea? I still remember the scent of lavender wafting through the air when I visited a local market. That experience seemed like something straight out of a 4 Kelvins documentary. Paris. Paris, the city of lights, is a place that never disappoints. Even if you've seen the Eiffel Tower in thousands of photos, wouldn't you still get a thrill climbing it and seeing the entire city from above? The capital city holds incredible cultural treasures. The National Library houses over 40 million documents, from medieval manuscripts to 18th century maps. Strolling through Montmartre with its street artists is like stepping back a century. The Latin Quarter remains bustling with students, cafes, and bookstores that seem to have come straight out of another era. And speaking of Notre Dame, its nearly 900-year history continues to captivate everyone. Paris isn't just about monuments. It's also about the little details: a steaming cup of coffee on a terrace, an accordion player by the Seine. I still remember a night at the Opéra Garnier, where every corner seemed designed for a 4 Kelvins documentary. Would you like to walk down the Champs Élysées to the Arc de Triomphe? I'm sure you would. Alsace. Alsace is a corner of France that seems to have come straight out of a fairy tale. Its colorful, timber-framed houses evoke the scenery of children's movies. Did you know that Strasbourg is home to the European Parliament and produces some of the finest white wines in the world? Its vineyards, lined up like green soldiers, produce the famous Riesling and Gewürztraminer. Medieval documents show how this region changed hands between France and Germany several times, something that is still evident in its architecture and cuisine. A pretzel in one hand and a glass of wine in the other is the perfect recipe for feeling like a local. At Christmas, its markets are considered among the most beautiful in Europe, with lights, carols, and the aroma of gingerbread filling the streets. Would you like to stroll through Colmar, with its canals reminiscent of a miniature Venice? I did, and I felt like I was in a 4 Kelvins documentary full of magic and color. Loire Valley. The Loire Valley is a showcase of castles that seem to have come straight out of a romantic movie. Chambord, Chenonceau, Amboise. Did you know there are over 300 castles in this region? Each one tells stories of kings, intrigues, and lavish banquets. Renaissance-era documents reveal how this valley was the political and cultural center of France for centuries. It is also one of the most important wine-growing regions in the country, with wines that pair wonderfully with local goat cheese. Cycling along the Loire River through vineyards and villages is a soul-rejuvenating experience. Can you imagine entering a castle and seeing giant fireplaces and spiral staircases that still echo with the past? Personally, I remember tasting a Sancerre wine with a view of the river, and I thought, this deserves a 4 Kelvins documentary all on its own. Corsica. Corsica, the island of beauty, is a world apart. Its mountains rise dramatically above the sea, and its beaches look like postcards. Did you know that Napoleon Bonaparte was born here in 1769? Ajaccio, his birthplace, preserves documents and artifacts that recall his history. The island has a strong identity, with its own language, traditional music, and proud character. Hiking trails, like the famous GR20, are a challenge even for experienced hikers, but it's not all about exertion. The beaches of Porto Vecchio are ideal for relaxing. Would you like to try Corsican cheese with chestnut honey? I did, on a terrace overlooking the sea, and I thought, this is what life is all about. The air smells of maquis, that aromatic vegetation that perfumes the entire island. Corsica is nature in its purest form, a place that deserves to be captured in a 4 Kelvins documentary. Mont Saint-Michel. Mont Saint-Michel looks like a floating castle in the middle of the sea. When the tide comes in, it transforms into an island. When it goes out, a sandy path appears, inviting you to explore. Did you know that it was founded in 708 AD by order of a bishop after a dream involving the archangel Saint Michael? Its medieval records show that it was a pilgrimage site for centuries. Walking up its steep streets is like stepping back in time. The Abbey, perched on the hilltop, offers breathtaking views. I still remember the sound of the bells as evening fell. It sounded like background music for a 4 Kelvins documentary. Would you like to stay in one of its charming little hotels and wake up with the sea surrounding the island? It would be an unforgettable experience. Provence. Provence is synonymous with lavender, sunshine, and fine wine. In summer, the fields turn purple, and the air smells of honey and fresh herbs. Did you know that the region has over 200 sunny days a year? Historical records mention Romans cultivating vineyards here 2 millennia ago. Today, towns like Gordes and Roussillon seem to cling to the hillsides with irresistible charm. Provençal cuisine, with its ratatouille and tapenade, is a celebration of Mediterranean flavors. Would you like to stroll through a Provençal market with cheeses, spices, and flowers everywhere? I did. And every color seemed designed for a 4 Kelvins documentary. Provence is a place where life is enjoyed at a leisurely pace, with a glass of rosé in hand and the sun caressing your skin. Bordeaux. Bordeaux is the world capital of wine. Its vineyards produce some of the most coveted red wines, such as Margaux and Saint-Emilion. Did you know that there are over 7,000 chateaux in the region dedicated to wine production? Medieval documents already described Bordeaux as a major trading port. Today, its historic center is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Walking around the Place de la Bourse and seeing the reflections in the Miroir d'eau, mirror of water, is an unforgettable experience. I tasted a wine at a centuries-old winery and thought to myself, this deserves to be featured in a 4 Kelvins documentary. Would you like to cycle through vineyards and end the day on a terrace with oysters and white wine? It's an offer you can't refuse. Normandy. Normandy is a land of contrasts. Breathtaking cliffs, green meadows, and villages with charming half-timbered houses. Did you know that Normandy cider is as famous as its cheeses? Camembert, Livarot, and Pont-l'Évêque are the stars of local tables. Historical records tell us that William the Conqueror set sail for England from here in 1066. Today, beaches like Étretat seem sculpted by giants. Strolling through Rouen, with its cathedral that Monet painted in every possible light, is pure poetry. Personally, I was moved by the blend of history and everyday life in every corner. Normandy is a setting worthy of a 4 Kelvins documentary. Would you like to try an apple crepe with a glass of Calvados in hand? It would be a simple luxury. Lyon. Lyon is the gastronomic capital of France and a crossroads of history and modernity. The city is crossed by 2 rivers, the Rhône and the Saône, which give it a special charm. Did you know that Lyon was the major silk center in Europe during the Renaissance? Documents from that era show how merchants and artists transformed it into a prosperous city. Today, you can still explore the famous travels, secret passageways that connect buildings and were used by weavers to transport their fabrics without getting wet in the rain. The old town Vieux-Lyon is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, with its cobblestone streets that seem frozen in time. Would you like to try a pike quenelle in an authentic Bouchon Lyonnais restaurant? I did, and I thought, this city is a feast for the soul and the palate. Lyon deserves to be featured in a 4 Kelvins documentary, because every corner tells a story of flavors, colors, and tradition. Pilat Dune. The Pilat Dune is a natural wonder. Over 100 meters high and 3 kilometers long, it is the largest sand dune in Europe. Did you know that it advances a few meters inland each year, gradually engulfing the surrounding forest? Geological records indicate that its origin dates back thousands of years, a result of wind and tides. Climbing it barefoot is a small challenge, but the reward is immense. On one side, the Atlantic Ocean, on the other, a sea of green pine trees. I did it one summer afternoon and thought, this is the definition of freedom. This landscape where sky, sand, and sea embrace each other deserves to be in a 4 Kelvins documentary. Would you like to go paragliding from the top and see everything from a bird's eye view? Verdon Gorge. The Verdon Gorge is the most spectacular canyon in Europe. Its walls reach up to 700 meters high, and the river gleams with a turquoise hue that seems painted. Did you know it's called the Grand Canyon of Europe? Geological records show how water erosion shaped this landscape over millions of years. You can explore it by kayak, hike along its trails, or simply admire it from a viewpoint. I rented an electric boat, and the silence, broken only by the birdsong, was breathtaking. It was one of those moments that stays with you forever. This place deserves a 4 Kelvins documentary because every angle is postcard perfect. Would you like to feel the breeze on top of a cliff overlooking the azure abyss? Auvergne. Auvergne is a land of dormant volcanoes and breathtaking landscapes. Did you know that the Chaîne de Poix has more than 80 volcanic cones in a line? Geological records indicate that the last eruption occurred about 7,000 years ago. Today, it's a paradise for hikers and nature lovers. Its lakes, like Lake Pavin, formed in ancient craters and reflect the clear skies. Clermont-Ferrand, its capital, has churches made of dark volcanic stone that give it a unique character. I tried some Saint-Nectaire cheese with homemade bread at a local market, and I thought, this tastes like pure tradition. Auvergne is all about tranquility, fresh air, and authenticity. A 4 Kelvins documentary about this region would show a mosaic of green mountains, grazing cows, and peaceful villages. Would you like to climb Puy de Dôme and admire the panoramic view of the volcanic landscape? Chamonix Mont-Blanc. Chamonix is the mecca of mountaineering. Located at the foot of Mont Blanc, the highest peak in Western Europe, it is a dream destination for mountain enthusiasts. Did you know that the first Winter Olympic Games were held here in 1924? Sports records document the epic feats of pioneering climbers. Today, you can take a cable car to the Aiguille de Midi and feel the vertigo at almost 3,842 meters. I did it, and the icy air slapped my face, but the view was indescribable. Glaciers, snow-capped peaks, and absolute silence. Chamonix is a place where nature displays its grandeur. Every moment seems designed for a 4 Kelvins documentary. Would you like to hike on a glacier with crampons accompanied by a guide? Palace of Versailles. Versailles is the epitome of Baroque luxury. Built by Louis XIV, the Sunday King, it is a symbol of absolute power. Did you know that the Hall of Mirrors has 357 mirrors facing 17 windows to reflect the sunlight? Court records show how balls, alliances, and decisions that shaped the destiny of Europe were celebrated here. Its gardens with fountains, sculptures, and geometric avenues are a spectacle in themselves. I strolled through the flower beds at sunset and felt like I was in a fairy tale. The Palace of Versailles is not just architecture, it's a sensory experience. It is a setting worthy of a 4 Kelvins documentary to showcase its grandeur to the world. Would you like to explore it by electric bike and discover hidden corners? Yvoire. Yvoire is a small village on the shores of Lake Geneva that seems frozen in time, like a medieval village. Its stone houses, covered with flowers in summer, have earned it the title of Flower Village of France. Did you know that Yvoire was a strategic fortress in the 14th century? Historical records show that its walls defended the region during border conflicts. Today, strolling through its narrow streets is like turning the pages of an old book. Restaurants serve fresh fish from the lake, paired with wines from Savoy. I tried a cheese fondue while watching the water shimmer and thought, this deserves to be in a 4 Kelvins documentary. Would you like to take a boat across the lake to Switzerland, with the wind in your hair? Annecy. Annecy is called the Venice of the Alps because of its crystal-clear canals. Did you know that Lake Annecy is one of the cleanest lakes in Europe, thanks to strict environmental laws dating back to the 1962? Medieval documents tell us it was a bishopric, which explains its well-preserved churches and palaces. The old town, with its arcades and cheese markets, is a living postcard. I remember enjoying a hot tartiflette by the lake, and the reflection of the mountains was a sight to behold. Annecy has that fresh mountain air mixed with romance. It's a place that cries out for a 4 Kelvins documentary. Would you like to row a small boat while swans accompany you? Riquewihr. Riquewihr is one of the most picturesque villages in Alsace. Surrounded by vineyards, it is famous for its Riesling wine. Did you know that its 16th century walls still protect the almost untouched historic center? Medieval trade records show that it prospered thanks to wine, and that spirit is still felt in every wine cellar today. Its half-timbered houses, painted in vibrant colors, seem to have been designed by an artist with a good palate. I toasted with a white wine in a family-run tavern and thought, time has stood still here. This village seems made for a 4 Kelvins documentary, with its lights, flavors, and traditions that remain intact. Would you like to stroll along cobblestone streets with a glass of wine in hand? Gordes. Gordes, in Provence, is a village clinging to the hillside. Its light-colored stone houses gleam in the sunlight. Did you know that it was a refuge for artists like Marc Chagall, who were captivated by its tranquil atmosphere? Historical documents tell us that it was a fortress during the Middle Ages, and its castle still stands in the central square. Strolling through its steep streets is an almost spiritual experience. I remember the scent of lavender in the local market, which seemed to perfume everything around. Gordes is a natural vantage point overlooking the Provençal countryside. Its beauty deserves to be featured in a 4 Kelvins documentary. It is pure poetry in stone and light. Would you like to have breakfast with a croissant while watching the sunrise over the valley? Eiffel. Eiffel is an eagle's nest on the French Riviera. Perched on a cliff, it offers spectacular views of the Mediterranean. Did you know it was fortified in the 12th century against pirate attacks? Today, its exotic gardens are full of cacti, sculptures, and viewpoints. Its cobbled streets hide workshops of artisanal perfumers, a legacy of a centuries-old tradition. I remember sitting on a balcony with bougainvillea and enjoying a coffee, while the sea breeze seemed to whisper ancient stories. Eiffel has that magic of a place frozen in time, suspended between sky and sea. This village deserves to be featured in a 4 Kelvins documentary. Would you like to get lost in its narrow streets and discover a hidden gem?
Colmar.
Colmar is an Alsatian gem. Its colorful houses reflected in the canals have made its little Venice famous. Did you know that Bartholdi, the creator of the Statue of Liberty, was born here? Historical documents show that Colmar was a thriving wine-producing center since the Middle Ages. At Christmas, its market is one of the most magical in France, with lights and the aroma of mulled wine. I tried a tarte flambée with a glass of Gewürztraminer and thought, this is happiness on a plate. Colmar is a village that seems designed for a 4 Kelvins documentary, with colors that change with each season. Would you like to stroll at night with the lanterns reflected in the water? Carcassonne. Carcassonne is the most impressive medieval fortress in Europe. Its double walls, almost 3 kilometers long, protect a unique historical ensemble. Did you know it was restored in the 19th century by the architect Viollet-le-Duc? Medieval documents show that it was a key defensive stronghold in southern France. Its pointed towers seem to have come straight out of a chivalric novel. I walked along its illuminated ramparts at night. And it felt like stepping back 8 centuries. Carcassonne isn't just a museum, it's a living city within its walls. It's a perfect setting for a 4 Kelvins documentary. Would you like to hear the echo of armor clanging on its cobblestone streets? Eguisheim. Eguisheim is small but charming. Its circular streets surround a castle, and its colorful houses boast flower-filled balconies year-round. Did you know it was named one of the most beautiful villages of France? Historical records tell that Pope Leo IX was born here in the 11th century. Today, the village comes alive with wine festivals and local markets. I toasted with a crisp Riesling on a sunny terrace and thought, here, life is savored slowly. Eguisheim deserves to be featured in a 4 Kelvins documentary because every corner exudes peace and tradition. Would you like to toast in the main square while a band plays folk music? Roussillon is a village of vibrant colors. Its houses, painted with ochre from the earth, create a dazzling natural palette. Did you know that its ochre quarries have been worked since ancient times and can still be visited today? Local records show how the extraction of this pigment provided work for generations. Walking along the ochre trail is like stepping into an abstract painting. Red, orange, yellow, and green hues compete with the blue sky. I left with ochre dust on my shoes and a smile, a truly unique memory. Roussillon is a visual spectacle worthy of a 4 Kelvins documentary. Would you like to stroll through streets of fire and light, as if part of a canvas? Dinan is a medieval gem in Brittany. Its 13th century ramparts still surround a charming old town. Did you know that its cobbled streets still boast over 130 half-timbered houses? Old documents show that Dinan was an important trading center thanks to its port on the Rance River. Walking along Rue de Gerswall with its artisan workshops is like traveling through time. The castle and the Basilica of Saint-Sauveur complete a historically valuable ensemble. Would you like to stand on the ramparts and gaze at the Rance Valley? I did, and I thought, this moment belongs in a 4 Kelvins documentary. Dinan combines the tranquility of a small town with the grandeur of a place that has managed to preserve its soul. Is Strasbourg. Strasbourg is a bridge between cultures. Its Gothic cathedral, with a spire 142 meters high, was the tallest building in the world for centuries. Did you know it houses an astronomical clock that still works with precision? Medieval documents tell how the city passed back and forth between French and German control, which explains its half-timbered architecture and unique cuisine. Walking through the La Petite France district is like stepping into a painting. Canals, colorful houses, and flower-filled balconies. I had a coffee overlooking the Ill River and felt time had stood still. Strasbourg is home to the European Parliament, making it a symbol of unity. This place deserves to be featured in a 4 Kelvins documentary because it combines history, politics, and everyday beauty. Would you like to wander through a Christmas market with the aromas of mulled wine and gingerbread? Brittany. Brittany is a land of sailors and legends. Its cliffs face the Atlantic winds with the same strength as its inhabitants defend their traditions. Did you know that some of the best apple cider in Europe is made here? Celtic texts recount myths of druids and standing stones like those at Karnak, older than the pyramids of Egypt. In Saint-Malo, a former pirate town, the ramparts tell stories of sailors who set sail to explore the world. I tried oysters in Cancale, served with dark bread and salted butter, and I understood why the people of Brittany say their cuisine is closely linked to the sea. Brittany has its own unique music, with bagpipes and dances that bring entire town squares to life. Would you like to walk along the coast, watching the waves crash against the shore, with a lighthouse in the background? That scene deserves a special place in a 4 Kelvins documentary.
Marseille. Marseille is the oldest city in France, founded over 2,600 years ago by Greek sailors. Did you know that the famous Marseille soap, known for its purity and used all over the world, originated here? Its maritime trade records show how it was a major Mediterranean port full of spices, silks, and exotic aromas. The old port still buzzes with fishermen selling their daily catch at dawn. I remember eating an authentic bouillabaisse overlooking the sea and thought, this isn't just a dish, it's liquid history. The Pannier district, with its narrow streets and colorful murals, reflects the city's multicultural spirit. Marseille is authentic, vibrant, and warm. Every corner seems ready for a 4 Kelvins documentary. Would you like to climb to the top of Notre Dame de la Garde Basilica and see the Mediterranean unfold endlessly before you? Aquitaine. Aquitaine is history, wine, and sea. Here you'll find the Lascaux Caves, with prehistoric cave paintings over 17,000 years old, which some call the Sistine Chapel of Prehistory. Did you know that Eleanor of Aquitaine was one of the most powerful queens in Europe during the Middle Ages? Records from her reign document alliances and battles that changed history. Today, the region is famous for its wines, from Bordeaux to Bergerac. Its Atlantic beaches stretch for miles, perfect for leisurely strolls. I walked through the forests of Les Landes, and the scent of pine resin lingered in the air for hours. Aquitaine is culture and nature in its purest form. Undoubtedly, it's a setting that belongs in a 4 Kelvins documentary. Would you like to sample a red wine at a centuries-old chateau overlooking the vineyards? Conclusion. France is a journey of contrasts. From the elegance of Paris to the tranquility of its medieval villages, from the sun-drenched French Riviera to the snowy Alps. Isn't it amazing how one country can encompass so many different stories and landscapes? Traveling here is about savoring, listening, and discovering with all 5 senses. Every corner invites you to pause, to observe calmly, and to be surprised. France, at every step, becomes an authentic 4 Kelvins documentary, where you are the star of the show.